When I was finishing Racing Time came out in 2019, and at that time, we were looking for Andrew all over the world. He had gotten back from the Iraq War. He had 2 tours of duty there, and he saw all kinds of rough stuff, and he was pretty good shape when he first got back. He had really good jobs working security, and then he got a little bored with that. He went to truck driving, but gradually, this PTSD, this insidious disease just sort of crept into his psyche, and he started becoming more paranoid, a little bit schizophrenic, and then having hallucinations, and it was just a horrible thing. We saw him kind of going down in this vortex and getting worse and worse until finally we lost him, and we started searching all over the country. While we were searching, being a writer, I took notes and I wrote down what was going on, and then I'd get back here and I'd get up at 5 in the morning and write about it. It was also a purgation, a catharsis of what I was going through, our whole family. And, I never knew if we would see him the next day or when we'd ever see him again or what would happen. So it was kind of, I was right on the edge all the time. I just wrote in the present what I was going through. And that's what this book is about, a 3-year period of our family in anguish searching for our son.
PTSD is obviously an insidious illness. How has it affected your family?
At the beginning of the book, there's a quote, and I say to my daughter, Eliza, who's very strong, and I say, this searching for Andrew could tear our family apart. And she says, yes, Dad, but it could also bring us together. And I think that's what it did more than anything. And we had some extremely traumatic and also dangerous times looking in cities. We went to Seattle, Santa Fe, Denver, San Diego, cities all across the country. And often we were just deep into these homeless areas. Period. The toughest thing about it was you never knew what was going to happen. One night, say right this moment, I could get a text or a Facebook post and someone say, hey, we think we've seen him. And then my son, Patty, if he saw something like that, he'd say, Dad, I'm on the plane. And he would go. And then we would usually come a day or so later.
Going back to Andrew's upbringing, what would you say had the potential to result in how it has today? Was it a total surprise as a result of what happened with his wartime experience?
He was our most social child. And he also was really the most gentle child. I mean, going fishing, I would have to put the worm on the hook. He didn't like tension. He certainly didn't like violence, and he liked being part of the family and, being close to us and being safe and secure. So then as he got to be a teenager, and then he wasn't sure what he wanted to do with his life, and he decided to join the Marines. He was tough and he did really well, and the Marines were good for him, but maybe deep down, he's such a sensitive person that it affected him a great deal. Andrew has a high IQ. We did all these tests on him when he was in school to figure out where he should go to school. And he has, he's very intelligent, has his high IQ, but his difficulty was in planning. That was a difficult thing for him. So in school, when you're going to school and, it's planned out, you go to one class and then you go to the next class, then he would go run track. Then, he did pretty well in school. It was all sort of orchestrated. And then when he became a Marine, the schedule of it was very good for him. He's always been very neat and super organized. When he was in Iraq, he sent me an email and he said the key to staying alive over here, to doing well, is being super organized. So he always had that mentality. His bedroom as a kid was always perfectly neat, and his bed would be perfectly made up. And in the Marines, you do certain things and you get a promotion and you get a ribbon.
Did he ever relate any experiences that he had in the field, combat-related experiences that you think may have affected him one way or another?
Yes, he did. He related a few extreme ones. In one, he saw early on in the war, we really our military wasn't that organized. On the base, the enemy would come zooming in with their pickup trucks and they'd launch grenades. And he saw a sergeant he knew go into the shower and he saw the grenade launcher shoot the grenade, hit the shower, and the sergeant blown up. So the other horrible thing he had to do was, well, I'm not sure if you'll keep this or not, but he had to pick up body parts, perhaps of people that he knew, from the IEDs with blew up vehicles. And
What is your principal goal for publishing this book?
this could be a long letter to Andrew in some ways. And I'm saying, Andrew, war's over. Come home. Why don't you come home? Is there anything we can do for you? And so the two missions: first, to help Andrew, and second, to draw the attention to other soldiers or veterans. And so they can get help and people realize how difficult it is for them. And thirdly, I'm trying to, as an artist, as a writer, I'm trying to write a book that'll move people and bring them together with their own families and make them grateful for what they have and make them cry and laugh and do all the things that a memoir or a novel can do.